Hi all. Today's a bit of a Starbucks day, so this video is brought to you by Starbucks today. Okay, I just wanted to introduce what we had to do this week. This week I want you to read chapters 4 and 5. You can look at the objectives, but I'm pretty much going to explain them out to you. I have presentations for anxiety disorders and treatment, chapter 4, and trauma and stress disorders, chapter 5. And then I put up a bunch of different articles and websites. You can glance through them, make sure you listen to some more than others so you have stuff to respond on the discussion board. If you don't have time to listen to everyone, I picked all things that I thought were interesting and important. So one thing is, this is an article about the benefits of anxiety. Some people might say that a certain level of anxiety is helpful. This is an article about the question of whether or not people can have multiple personalities, or which refers to the disorder we call dissociative identity disorder. It used to be called multiple personality disorder, but then it was changed, and it's listed as part of the dissociative disorders, not a personality disorder. And it's called dissociative identity disorder, and it's about the whole idea of whether people could have different personalities or switch personalities. Some things I recommend watching is this video. This guy, Paul, has obsessive compulsive disorder from the show Obsessed. A lot of people from previous classes have mentioned enjoying that video. There's also some videos. One's about cognitive behavioral therapy for anxiety. It's a type of therapy that's often used. It's important to kind of learn a bit about that. Another video people find very impactful is if you click on this PTSD videos, it'll take you to this website where I have a whole bunch of videos if my thing doesn't want to freeze. And one of the videos, as I describe here, is called War Torn. It was a documentary actually shown on HBO, directed by the late James Gandolfini. And it's really, really an excellent documentary. I love this documentary. Just want to warn you, it is graphic. So if this is a sensitive area, if it's something that just coming with a warning. But that said, I broke down the first, I think, 4. Oh, I have all 5. All right, all 5 parts here. And then if those are too graphic, these other videos aren't quite as graphic, but they're about PTSD as well. But again, some people have said those were the most meaningful videos to them, and they really enjoyed watching them. I would watch it whether or not it was for a class, but that's just me. I'm not as sensitive to that stuff. Virtual reality therapy for PTSD, that's pretty cool if you're interested in the therapy aspects. Again, a video about dissociative identity disorder. Is it a real thing? What different people have to say. And then the football player Herschel Walker said he had dissociative identity disorder, and you can see these 2-part videos of him describing it. So again, my top recommendations are definitely watch this Paul OCD video, definitely watch this PTSD video if all you have time to watch 2 different ones from the anxiety disorders and the trauma. Try to watch these therapy ones. They're short, 5 minutes, can teach you a bit about that. And then these other ones, a little more optional, but you might be interested. Okay, assignments for the week. We have quiz 3. If you had trouble with the other quiz, you should be able to look back at the answers now once the quiz closes for everyone. So starting today, for example, for the last quiz, you should be able to see which ones you got wrong or right. If not, send me an email and I'll try to figure out why. Okay. Also, the case study assignment for next week, due by Sunday. You can download it by clicking here. What you're going to do, you're going to get a bunch of different case vignettes. Sorry, that's not you. There you go. A bunch of different case vignettes. I gave you an example first as to one of the better attempts at it. So this would be sort of an example of what I'm looking for, where you would diagnose the person, in this case, Amy. She had generalized anxiety disorder, and explain why you gave the diagnosis. You can also highlight it, but more importantly, I want you to explain why, and then discuss possible treatments, okay, and why that treatment would work, why that treatment is important. So I want you to say why, what diagnosis, why you gave the diagnosis, and then what treatment suggestions you have and why those suggestions you gave. And so there's another 1, 2, 3, 4 case studies for you to do that with. That's that case study assignment. Okay. The two discussion boards, the one on anxiety disorders, so that's like OCD, biodysmorphic disorder, panic disorder, phobias, um, should be addressed on this board, not PTSD. PTSD is a stress disorder and is discussed with the dissociative and stress disorders on discussion board 5. So don't focus on that. Focus on the anxiety disorders. I just want you to talk about the readings and videos. What stood out to you? Did it bring up any questions? Did anything strike a nerve emotionally? And share that. Again, the PTSD stuff doesn't belong here. Okay, then discussion board 5, trauma and stress disorders. I want to ask you what that line is between like stress disorders, like acute stress disorder and PTSD, and the daily stress we normally experience. Like I was writing there, I had this job once, I was working at American Psychiatric Association actually, and I, honest to God, hated this job, hated it. And every time the phone would ring, I would get jumpy and nervous and, definitely was stressed out. And then even when the job ended, I would still feel jumpy if I heard the phone ring. I would still have dreams about the job. But did that job cause me to have PTSD? Where is that line, I guess? I remember after it, I would joke about that. Like, oh my God, I'm so traumatized from this job. But, I don't know if I would really say that. I don't know if that's a fair statement. I don't think that equates to someone necessarily who has a certain stress disorder or PTSD, but where would you draw that line? Where should that line be drawn? What should be considered a traumatic event is kind of what I'm asking you there. And you can refer to the book, you can refer to the videos in your statement as well. I would like you to try to bring some sources in. Okay, and finally, I gave you some extra information for the movie paper. Again, you can see the directions from last week, and I think I have them elsewhere. A sample movie paper from a previous student, and you can kind of read through this movie paper here, the application of the article they read, their media analysis, and then their references. We're in imperfect format, but close enough. And then some information on citing APA style, as I want the movie paper to be APA style. So hopefully that'll help you with getting started on that. If you work on it and want to send me a draft, I'll be more than willing to look at it. I think that's about it. Let me just double check that I didn't have anything else I wanted to explain for this week. As usual, if you have questions, just don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have an awesome week. And I've enjoyed, listening, reading, I guess, what you've had to say so far, especially last week. I think we've had great discussions, and I appreciate those of you being open about your feelings, especially on a controversial topic like the question about homosexuality and the role of it being in the DSM previously. And I just want to know I appreciate all your comments and everything that everyone's had to say and your openness and honesty. Okay, I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Much thanks. Bye.